Constraints and compromise often push naval engineers toward original answers to seemingly simple problems. For the Royal Navy after the First World War, constraints were paramount. In 1922, Britain signed the Washington Naval Treaty, an agreement among 5 powers to rein in the arms race at sea. The treaty forced the abandonment of promising new capital ship projects, already growing ever more complex and costly. Yet Britain had no intention of surrendering its great power navy, so the Admiralty challenged designers to produce a powerful new battleship that outclassed pre-war types like the Queen Elizabeth, while remaining within treaty limits. They had a head start. Even before the Washington talks, British designers had sketched an unusual G3 battlecruiser with all main armament concentrated forward, which was a way to stay within displacement and firepower caps. That idea became the foundation of the Nelson. It had 9 406mm guns mounted in 3 super-firing turrets, all ahead of the bridge. Another distinctive feature was an all-or-nothing protection. The ship's vitals, its armored citadel, received the heaviest plating, while less critical areas were left essentially unarmored. In overall size, the Nelson resembled the pre-war Warspite, but she far surpassed her in hitting power. The price was speed. It was limited to only 23 knots. The Nelson was commissioned in 1927. Her first decade of service was relatively quiet, but then the Second World War erupted. She shifted to a war footing and soon saw operational use. Among the missions were rescuing the crew of the Sailfish submarine and patrolling sea lanes out of Narvik. In December 1939, she struck a magnetic mine, but her career scarcely paused. It was only the beginning. Her wartime path was unusual in that she seldom met the Kriegsmarine head-on. In 1940, she covered a fleet air arm raid on the Italian Navy. 2 years later, she supported the Allied landings in North Africa. Mines and torpedoes found her more than once, yet each time she returned to service. In 1943, the Nelson again backed British and American troops during the Sicily and Salerno landings. A single broadside had a profound effect ashore. Not the most precise, perhaps, but the crushing salvos of 9 main-caliber guns were perfect for battering coastal defenses. It was aboard Nelson that Marshal Pietro Badoglio signed Italy's Act of Surrender. Yet another time, this unconventional battleship became a symbol of Royal Navy prestige. Late in the war, she supported the Normandy landings, and after that, British operations in the Indian Ocean. With peace, however, her sunset was inevitable. Commanders recognized the ascendancy of the aircraft carrier, and battleships rapidly receded into the background. The Nelson lingered for a time in a training role, then served as a target for bomber practice before going to the breakers. Thus ended the story of a ship that long stood as a fleet icon, an embodiment of its era, departing with it.